March 12, 3:35 p.m., flight G390, lower deck cargo hold.
It's been like 9 to 12 hours since the guy's death, depending on time zones.
Miss Mealy? Miss Mealy!
Huh?
Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Shengfa?
Huh?
You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Shengfa.
Oh?
Miss Cammy Mealy!
Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did?
No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Mealy.
But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time.
Oh my god. Is he trying to act innocent? Like act stupid?
Yes. Airheaded, stupid.
This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Mealy, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found.
Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth?
Those dead eyes.
What eyes? All I see is hair.
Yeah.
How's that hat staying on, actually?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self.
She couldn't have been.
Ah, enlightening.
How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Mealy, wake up!
Ah.
She fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Well, that's a hint if I ever saw one.
I don't like hints.
Can we press this?
Yes, we can actually. There was something I could have swore. There it is. Because I do want to press that. Just for fun. 5 to 6.
Yeah.
So that's where we'd go against there. But I do want to press this just to see.
To see what happens. Miss Mealy, wake up!
I'm awake.
Miss Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant!
Francesca, the answer is literally in your hand.
I don't think she whips women, though. Why ask me to wake up when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use?
Exactly!
I don't think she's ever actually whipped a woman.
The only one I can foresee her actually whipping is Maya.
Yeah, like, hasn't she whipped Maya? I don't think she has, actually.
I don't know, because she doesn't interact with Maya all that much.
Yeah, true.
And Phoenix is always pretty much around to be whipped.
More or less, yeah.
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in the first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m.
Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda.
Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time?
Eating and then having a most delicious dream.
You mean you were neglecting your duties?
Have you seen my outfit? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Her outfit screams, not a professional.
Yeah, not professional at all.
No way. Sleeping's part of our job too, you know. I'm not pressing this too. You know what? Francesca might say something.
Miss Mealy, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up!
Oh, it's this again. I'm not awake.
Ouch! What did you whip me for, sir?
Oh, what did I miss?
A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead.
Really? Sorry about that.
You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony.
5 to 6. Yeah, this is where it is wrong.
Hold it!
So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh, well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection?
Yes.
Yeah? Miss Mealy, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m.
This.
Yep.
Take that!
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Mealy.
Huh? A receipt? For what?
It's for the suitcases Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenero.
Yes. Huh. Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now.
I requested that she be present as a witness, so that we may straighten out our complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in flight shop, correct?
Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which, I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off.
And did you see Miss Mealy there at the time?
No?
So, Miss Mealy, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6? Miss Cammy Mealy!
Huh? The bathroom?
I'll be the one to ask the questions here.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know.
Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true.
But it's the truth. Cross my heart.
I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage.
You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out?
Okay.
Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. We do. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Please leave Mr. Arrow out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now.
I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda.
Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I?
Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kinda lie. I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design.
No, it's not the time for this sort of talk. Okay. What's this supposed to be like then? Like how her eyes are almost about to shut sometimes. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies.
But say I wasn't an attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you? It's because you're an attendant that we suspect you.
Yes, I suppose that's true enough.
We did suspect her, and Van Gogh, I'm sure, still does.
She's already being detained for further questioning. Or have you already forgotten?
Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you. There's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer?
Miss Mealy, what did you mean by just now by no one else who could have done it?
To be fair, the captain really couldn't do it.
Yeah,
so.
Captain is in the cockpit. Hold it! And what are you in charge of, Miss Mealy?
I take care of the attendance room.
That doesn't count.
Aw, but I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. We've seen that
She probably
room.
sleeps through everything.
Mr. Edgeworth, Kami is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English.
Huh.
Especially those who speak Borgian. She's the only one on this flight who is fluent.
Huh.
Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Borgian or whatever.
He's fluent in Borginian.
It is Borginian.
Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian.
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting. Because we have a document regarding that.
But
We got
nothing popped
yeah,
up
we
for me to
cannot
press.
present it yet, but we can use that document in Borginian. You know, at some point I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes.
Huh? But why?
Isn't it obvious? While Mr. Nero is busy with the passengers and all her other duties, you have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime.
Objection!
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist in this line of conjectural questioning.
Why?
I would allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer.
Oh my god. Leave Phoenix out of this. He's not supposed to be referenced.
But I do not honestly believe Miss Mealy does any actual work aboard this flight.
Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well...
Oh, she is a lot with the captain, isn't she?
Oh, here it is.
Also, she's probably a lot with the captain.
So this is where we present the thing. She's in charge of the attendance room and Borgian stuff.
So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff?
I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Kami is the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth.
Miss Mealy, I take it that then that it's your job to process all of the Borginian paperwork.
Yeah. See? I totally pulled my weight around here.
So it would appear.
I mean, to be fair, if they often go to Borginia, then yes, she would.
But why don't the Borginians just use English? I'm so confused.
Hey, Mthis, are you telling me every single person in power and that is rich knows other languages? That, like, English?
Yeah.
Because think about it from a different point of view. In the original translation, they'd likely go to Japan. So you tell me that all Danish people know Japanese?
That is true.
And need no translators?
That is true. Probably in the Japanese version, this makes a lot more sense.
But there's also just a lot of rich people around the world that don't know other languages.
Yeah.
English is not an easy language to learn fluently.
Which is weird, right? Because most people in Europe, if you're not French, can do it.
But they're still not as fluent as like an American.
That is true.
Because they don't always know all the little rules that even Americans don't realize they know.
Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work, and Miss Mealy, it's very unladylike to put suspicion onto someone else.
That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very sus.
There you go, pushing everything onto her again. I was almost afraid that would be a Among Us joke there.
I don't get what you're saying. It must be really a really abstract concept, huh?
The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head.
I'm actually a devious mastermind. Probably.
So, Borginian stuff, this is where we present the document. That document in Borginian. So, you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct?
Yeah. I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. That was a good animation.
Yeah, if that's the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it?
The music's back.
Yeah, Edgeworth's theme. This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Mealy. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh, she's just faked it the entire time!
Look, dude, I was barely sure once we figured out that she's the one that she's faking it, but why bubbles?
Yeah, that's a weird question. And now her eyes are in focus too.
They're alive again. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say.
Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling?
No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation, after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper.
Really? All you did was sign it?
I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly, so sorry about that. That's a legal document, I'm fairly sure, and doesn't matter what you say. The fact is you still signed off on it.
Yeah, basically. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight.
Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, is killed by a member of said ring.
Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. What was that?
So perhaps there's some element of a setup at play in this case.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry.
What the
I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. She's shooting bubbles at Edgeworth. First, it was myself, and now it's Mr. Nero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can.
You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't.
Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. The suitcase?
Probably?
Yeah, it would be the suitcase. I would say it was the suitcase because it said it was brought from the cargo hold.
Yeah. I'm just looking at anything else. I mean, there's also the Ugo piggy bank?
True, but I think it's the suitcase.
I mean, if it's not, then I'm going with Ugo.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere. and yet they choose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body off from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so?
Oh my god.
Damn!
She's like evil
Yeah,
now.
she went full delinquent. The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for this murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase in every flight she works without fail. Or should the suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body? That would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back in the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, added to their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in an order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree?
Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway?
That is because of the special circumstance surrounding this particular case. A special circumstance dictated the need for the killer to frame someone. When the murder took place. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who was not at their seat to frame. Isn't that an explanation from how the killer chose who, not why they had to? Well, I thought they'd best to start from there.
Ugh. If you're going to talk about completely unrelated matters, do you mind if I take a nap?
Hold on, I'm just getting to the meat of my argument. Okay, I suppose it's...
Oh, shit. Whoops. Hit space too quick.
The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer.
And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep. Again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence.
I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. Definitive evidence.
I like this music this game has.
Yeah, very good music. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that still can't quite fit into the big picture.
You mean this phone?
The phone! You're right, the phone! Take that! I don't have any actual evidence.
I thought not.
But that's because it went missing. And still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is in this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca? You were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. It means the killer took the phone with them. Precisely. I expected if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to be a killer.
Ha ha ha. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well?
We won't know that.
No, it's a Nokia.
We won't know until we try a little experiment, will we? Francesca, I'd like you to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Oh.
You didn't silence the phone?
Agent Hicks' phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir! I hear it, Detective. Now where's it coming from? Sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. Oh, we better hurry up to the flight attendant's room, sir!
My god, that got loud.
So where is it?
Yeah, we're in the attendant's room.
The ring is coming from somewhere in here, sir!
This is a loud ringtone.
You must unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. It's in the trash can? It doesn't seem like the phone got mixed in with the as in the lost and found section. Well, it's not like the victim could have just dropped it somewhere, right? Doesn't seem to be over here. Then let's look somewhere else, sir. Wait, the ring is coming from somewhere around here. But it's not here, sir. Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find the phone? It's in the suitcase. I wonder if it might be inside the suitcase. I don't hear any sounds coming from inside, sir. I don't appear to be the culprit would have been so dumb as to try to say so it's into Narrows. The ring is coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose logger is this, sir? It's Miss Teneros. What? Oh, Mile probably planted it there, didn't she? March 12, 4:28 p.m. at the cargo hold again.
So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone?
I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker.
What? But...
Puta Tenero!
Oh, come on. You can plant those things.
Yep.
I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away.
Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard.
Because if you notice something with Miss Tenero's locker...
There was no keycard in it.
No, that's not it. The coat, her outfit, was sticking out of it.
Oh, you're right.
So, and Miss Tenero doesn't seem like the kind of person that would allow that.
Yeah.
So if these things do have locks on them, that would keep it unlocked. At least using game logic.
When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time.
Objection!
This is related to the keycard, alright? In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francesca's right. Hand over baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone and Agent Hicks? He must have something very incriminating on her on it. Or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Well, it's been cracked.
Spinny.
The LCD is broken. On the screen, you can't even place a call with this.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you technically could.
You know how it all works. Can we open this thing?
Oh. This must be the switch that opens the phone. Ah, it's that kind of phone. Okay. Like a PDA almost.
Yeah. I used to have one of these, actually, when I was younger. It was similar.
When did they start putting keyboards like these into cell phones? Hey, this one's one of those computer cell phones that you started selling recently.
Yes, I have one literally on my desk. It's called a smartphone.
Computer cell phones? Yeah, it's got a computer and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Miss Edgeworth? I forgot Gumsh is actually very much into tech. All you need in a phone is the phone part, nothing more.
Oh, how wrong you are.
Oh yeah, he is
Mr.
so
Edgeworth.
wrong about that. I'm guessing you can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenient. You have a problem with what I do and do not care for, detective? No, sir. They say simple is best.
Uh-huh.
Is there a start button? There's something else about it.
I feel like it's something with this.
Yeah, there's like a hidden compartment. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of smuggling? Preserve the crime scene of smuggling. Francesca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
He's such a boomer.
He really is. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine take photos just fine.
Honestly, I prefer the red over the light blue. The light blue just does not work.
It's to fit her hair, obviously.
I understand why, but the color scheme on that phone just does not work. It fits her great. I don't want to be whipped. But the phone doesn't. I'm sorry.
Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone.
I'll find a way, don't worry about that.
May I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data.
What? I love that
Yeah,
look.
it's very delinquent. What do you mean by that, Francesca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics.
Ah, so the killer's Mr. Edgeworth then.
This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francesca, your phone, if you please.
No. Give it to Francesca to do. You don't know this stuff.
Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the Alex Red's nowhere in this pic, sir.
But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right?
Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use?
I mean, clearly there's something in this photo we can use.
Oh, Yeah, there's a missing, no, wait, wouldn't even matter yet. Where? Those crates, essentially?
I don't know, there's two tall things next to each other.
That's true.
So maybe?
What's all this?
Huh? Oh, they are cargo shipped from Virginia to Zhangfa.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Shengfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere.
One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says, it is cloth in English.
Cloth? Would it be? This way the killer...
What? What for is that scary face?
Miss Mealy?
Yes?
It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator.
Great face.
He left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is.
Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth.
Virginian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. The cloth?
The cloth?
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove?
The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe off the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? Now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo was unloaded in Shengfa and had cloth written on it. In Virginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from it and to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Virginian.
Which now narrows it down to two people.
Yep.
It is either Miss Melee or Mr. LeBlanc.
I don't think it's gonna be LeBlanc though. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy Mealy.
I mean, we already kind of knew it had to be Cammy because LeBlanc can't get down here normally.
Yeah, more or less.
Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian.
Objection!
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Virginian, well then, logically the killer would have opened this box first. Bed sheets!
Yeah, but wait, I can't look at it. Oh, I can't do any of it. So, present?
So, I guess?
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right in the box! Precisely. And bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say?
So what are you trying to say?
But if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Virginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Virginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Shengfa. That's right, that is why the Virginian cloth was used. And the only Virginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy Mealy. You and you alone. She's using the doll to shield herself!
What? Okay.
It'd be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we have to do is contact Shengfa authorities in time. We may even find out evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Mealy? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Shengfa?
Ow! What? What?
That's a very strong ball.
What? He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I what the hell?
March 12, 5:76 p.m. in the first floor lounge. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Excellent.
Very good, detective. What about the snorkeling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. I'm thinking for sure, bring behind this whole mess means serious business. Looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye.
Mr. Edgeworth, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much.
It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation.
But truly, If it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Indeed, I can only continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. And stop spending your money on suitcases. I hope that... Well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation.
Oh no. That's...
I see. You don't have to take if you don't want it.
No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at GoU Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Now, I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun. Speak for yourself. And it was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francesca? Oh, she's filing out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Damn. Detective, and you cancelled the car I had you reserve earlier. You got it, sir. March 12 in the Hope Springs Airport. Francesca? I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met.
That it has.
I also have no time for such familiar reminiscence. Just who do you think I am? You are Francesca Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until a little while ago, I was but a wretch and mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing period, living on her life and the name and fame of her invincible father Built.
Who lost to a spiky-haired, blue-dressed guy.
Apparently. True, your father Manfred Von Karma didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route was found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there's another agent on this case with me.
Is it Agent 47?
Oh, another agent. He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Oh,
definitely not Agent 47.
Ooh, this sounds like it.
He doesn't arrest people.
I wonder what this is. This might be someone we'll meet later, I'm imagining.
Probably in Zhang Fai.
Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I'll see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say it's the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth.
Oh no, I know who the agent is. It is Agent Larry Butts.
If it's Larry Butts, I would be very surprised. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. He's scary sometimes.
Sometimes.
And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness I can finally rest easy knowing I wouldn't have to watch out for her whip. And when I say sometimes, you know how nice he was with Pearl, right?
Only because Pearl is an adorable little child.
Yeah, true.
Even Francisca wouldn't, no matter how mean she is, wouldn't hurt a child.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
Poor guy.
Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francesca?
Probably about the same amount as you.
Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Let me remind you, Detective, safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francesca Von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play, and the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking.
I'm just going to be a normal voice until we figure out who the hell they are. Ah, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through.
And you are?
Ah, have you forgot my voice, Miles, my boy?
Wait, is this
Von Karma?
No, I think, I'm not sure what it is. With my boy, it could be Grossberg, but I don't think it's Grossberg. It could be Grossberg. You just keep going until we find out.
Who the hell is Amano?
Okay, so someone we don't know. Okay. Mr. Amano. Ernest Amano, correct?
Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. Once we know what he looks like, I'll give him a proper voice. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. I'm a prosecutor, not a detective. I do have a detective at my beck and call, though.
Well, I guess we have to deal with a kidnapping next. How exciting.